Monday, November 16th, 2020. It is 4 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour on your clock. I am James. You are here for another Monday in the trenches. So take cover, put your helmet on, pull up your pants, zip up your zipper, button fly if you need to, because things are going to get messy. You want to know why it's going to get messy tonight? Because it's Monday. Tell me why. I don't like Mondays. I don't like Mondays. Tell me why. I have no issue with Mondays anymore. They mean absolutely nothing to me, but I hope that this show does not get scrubbed for copyright infringement because I was just singing the Boomtown Rats. Why is it going to get messy tonight? Because we, for the first time in a very long time, have got an old-fashioned edition of the show. Since making the leap from Instagram Live over to Twitch, it's been quite a while since we've had a overarching theme to the show, few and far in between. And as I laid in bed last night, wondering, thinking, contemplating, and concentrating, I thought, how about this, Big Jim? How about tomorrow you kick it old school? So what I did was prepare by actually sifting through some OG episodes of the show. And can I tell you something? My look has gone through a real variety of changes over the past 8 months. Short hair to shaggy hair to long hair, back to short hair. Now it's at shaggy hair. There's something going on right here. I don't know what's going on. It's just flapping out. This looks like Halloween hair. And I try to flatten it. Doesn't work. I try to flatten it, kind of works, but then it looks weird. So what do I do with it? Just going to let it roll because that's all I can do anymore. That's all any of us can do. But are you excited for this vaccine? Huh? You got Pfizer, the boner kingpin. They're coming out with one. Got this Moderna. I don't know what they're known for, but just think in 1 year from now, we'll all be in line waiting to get a vaccine because we're not the people that are going to get it first. You know who's going to get it first? The oldies and the sickies and the weirdies and the wackos and the winos. They're going to get it first. What is tonight's theme? Certainly not talking about vaccines. It might come up. It might come up because tonight is all about the remaining 45 days left this year. And with those 45 days, what do you got? Is there something on tap that you're looking to accomplish? Is there something you have accomplished? Is there something that you wish you could accomplish, but you won't accomplish because you've just run out of time? We're going to talk about it all on tonight's show. Much later on, he's in the booth right now, so anything could happen. You might not even be able to hear me right now because it's a rare occasion where Dimitri Kyres is working the board on a Monday. He's here. Will you see him? I don't know. I don't even know if you can see me right now. Are we on the air? Everything is a roll of the dice when Dimitri Kyres is on the tech. He's coming up later on. Also on tonight's show, we have Saima Ahmed. We're going to kick things off in just a moment with the person that I have not only dubbed the best audience member in At Home with James history, but the chief political correspondent of this show, because of course we are live on twitch.tv/@home with James. Before we really get into it, I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. If you're in the chat, thanks for liking, subscribing, following this, that, and the other. We're keeping it tight tonight. My goal, be done by about 10 o'clock. We know I like to go overtime a little bit. Well, we'll see if we can keep it tight tonight. Anyways, let's get the show on the road because I've exhausted myself. I've heard enough of myself. My voice, it's playing in my head at all times anyways. Every single day before the show, it's just this. It's a monologue on loop. So it's enough now. I've had enough. You've had enough. Let's welcome our first guest. You know him and you love him. He's the ultimate well-wisher. He is the one and only Syd Roc. Syd, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing great, James. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. You're locked and loaded with a headset. You're ready to go.
Oh, yes. Just a quick aside, when you, as longtime viewers of the show might know, I'm actually watching on my TV just to have like the chat. It's the best place for me to see it. And when you were during your monologue, knowing that Dimitri was in the tech, I unmuted the TV just to make sure that I could hear you through the feed.
See, now,
So yeah,
I'm going to give you another credential on this show, Syd. You're the official quality inspector
there we
of
go.
the show, because you've also been known to keep an eye on the chat too. You've been known to send us a heads up here and there when something isn't going right in the show, something's going wrong in the show. You're officially being bestowed with quality inspector duty.
Thank you. I don't know if you noticed to what extent I frequently troll you for not paying attention to the chat. So yeah, it's that is something that you could only have said had you seen
Yes.
it. So I will
But may I
continue to
say,
do it just out of habit because it's fun.
I have to ask you this. You may have noticed last Friday, I was pretty active with the chat, I thought.
You were by at home with James standards, absolutely.
Yeah, but by my usual standard of not active at all, I was very active.
Yes, there were yes.
But you know what? Here's the thing. It's a work in progress. This gives me something to work on. It gives me something to become a little bit more of an improver, so to speak.
Absolutely, you there's a lot of room for improvement in that regard. So good, you know.
I think so. Now that we've gotten the pleasantries out of the way, Syd, you've been here. You mentioned it a couple moments ago. Since the early days, since day one, and we're kicking it old school tonight with an overarching theme that applies to each and every single guest. Today, my promo material was called 45 Days Left of 2020, What You Got? Now, tonight is all about understanding what each and every one of our guests intends to do with the remainder of the year. So, Syd, what I want to do before we really kick it into high gear is ask you, is there anything that you wished you could have accomplished this year that you just couldn't and you don't think you can?
Oh, well, the one thing that I wish I could accomplish would be to Jesus, this is such this is so annoying to me. This has been the case all year so far, or at least it feels like it. I'm hearing this is a COVID thing. I'm just warning you right now. I'm hearing all these government officials, all these professionals, all these experts. They're talking about masks. They're talking about social distancing. They're talking about washing your hands. That's all good advice. I don't hear one goddamn person talking about taking vitamins, taking zinc, taking shit to boost your fucking immune system. Uh, that is the one thing. If I could like hijack the if I could like lawnmower man style, I'm probably dating myself. Most of you probably haven't seen this movie, but if I could just take over every internet connected screen on in the world right now, I would say take vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, chaga mushrooms, and that doesn't negate wearing your mask and all that shit. But that, like, oh, I had an analogy. It's like talking about social distancing and masks and all that shit without talking about supplementation and boosting your immune system is like having 3 defensemen and no goalie.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, I'm sure your defenseman will do a great job, but you need someone in net.
Now, there's a lot that you just said that I loved. First of all, hockey analogy. Second of all, what popped into my mind was creating the At Home with James officially licensed Syd Roc brand of vitamin supplements. So we got to work on getting you a sponsorship for vitamins so you can become the spokesperson.
There we go.
And you're also carrying the torch of the immortal Hulk Hogan from the 80s into the early 90s who promoted
holy shit, yes,
taking your vitamins.
Yes. Just take your vitamins. What was it? It was prayers, training, and vitamins.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, the big question is, are you going to continue to follow into the footsteps of Hulk Hogan by becoming a film actor and then also appearing in a sex video that you were not aware of?
Well, I'll say this: I have a pass to say the N-word, so at least I have that.
Yeah. So if you get caught performing a sex act in a sex tape, but also dropping racial viewers, you're not going to get busted in the same way that the immortal Hulk Hogan did.
Yeah, there we go. So I got that going.
So if within the next 45 days that happens, at least you'll get off the hook far easier than Hulk Hogan did.
Man, that would be so awesome. Yeah, I that's such a different world to me that it's difficult for me to even entertain it. So yeah.
Getting caught in some type of sexually compromising video.
No, being as rich and famous as Hulk Hogan.
Right. Look, once
That's
we
too
get
big. In 45 days, that's too big of a jump. I can't.
It's true, but here's the thing: if we get this vitamin line on the rails by this time next year, you'll be in a position to be compromised by a scandal.
There we go. Yes. All we need to do is I don't know, put mercury in the pills or something like that.
Okay, yeah, we will poison them. Okay,
yeah,
so
and then I mean, you need the fast track to scandal, you know.
Yeah,
Then,
I think so.
Then a sex tape and the N word.
Okay, well, at least you've got not only a 45-day plan, but you've got a 365-day plan. But we digress. Now I want to transition to, is there anything in the year that we're living, 2020, that you accomplished that you didn't expect to accomplish? Have you checked something off of a to-do list that you never would have imagined would have even been on the damn to-do list?
Absolutely. This isn't a thing to check on the to-do list. It's basically like when in, I would say, early April, when all of this was fresh, and I realized that like it's going to be a while before I can hit the stage, and I'm like, oh, I need some other means to express myself. I decided to pivot to something that I can do on my own, alone in here, and yeah, I'm learning to draw, and that has been my focus since the lockdown happened. And considering how little time I've been doing it, I'd say I'm pretty good. But yeah, it's
well, yeah. You upload and keep people appraised of your drawing progress on your Instagram page.
Yes.
Let's throw in a quick plug for your Instagram account, Syd. Where can people find you?
It's Real Syd Roc. That's Real SYDROC.
Perfect. Now, not to blow smoke up your arse, as somebody from Calgary might say, but I was recently talking with someone about how it seems like people from the improv, but I'm going to extend it to the comedy world and certainly the acting world, a lot of people seem kind of like lost souls without being able to participate in the medium or the discipline in which they identify most with. But I used you as an example of someone who took the opportunity with all this free time to use and build that creative muscle by finding a new discipline, which is we can't just sit around waiting for someone to go, hey, I've got this thing. Can you come and do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, of course, when you're like, even if I was already good, like getting that kind of attention, it's kind of difficult. And I also want to say hi to Adina. I did see you in the chat.
I can't believe you engaged with the chat before I did.
I just engaged with the chat more than you, James. Yes, just saying. But just to finish my thought, even if you have the skill, getting the attention and recognition, that's a I would say multi-year process. So there's no way to do that quickly. And I forgot where I was going with this. Shit. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
It's all good. We'll transition. That's what I'm here for, to just like,
go.
Okay, this thing happens. Let's put it back on track. Okay, so the reason we're here, 45 days left. What do you got, Syd? Is there anything that you're looking at? It's on the horizon. The new year is fast approaching. We're inching towards December. The holidays are approaching. Is there anything you've got on the horizon that you know or you would hope to be able to do before 2020 comes to a close?
At this point, I'd just be happy if I was allowed to go to my family's place for Christmas.
Right.
I think, and this is weirdly inspiring to me, but I think that in the next couple weeks we're about to see civil disobedience on a massive scale in the US for Thanksgiving.
I want to
Uh,
jump in here for a second now,
yeah,
Sid.
yeah.
Do you like that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I knew
I'm
so.
I'm I I would never violate the law at all, but I'm inspired by people who do. And if you
Yes,
can
of course.
disobey civilly, then yeah,
You
that's
know what you are? You are a peripheral anarchist.
there we go.
Yeah. You're on the side of the, you're on like, I won't even say side of the road. That's too close. You're on an overpass looking at everything happening below, just having an ice cream cone, giggling.
Yes, that's exactly what's happening.
Mhm.
That's exactly what it is. I'll mention a quick aside.
Mhm.
I was a conspiracy theorist for many years, and like I was a conspiracy theorist back when smartphones were still like developing,
Mhm.
and over time I've become quite accustomed to just behaving as if I was under surveillance,
Mhm.
which if you have one of these you kind of are.
Yep.
So it is very easy for me to suddenly switch to, oh, I'm being watched mode, and
Oh, here's the
alternate
thing.
my speaking that way.
As soon as we navigate over to Instagram after this show, within 10 minutes, you and I are both, and frankly, everyone who's either watching or appearing on this show, we're going to get targeted ads for the Hulk Hogan sex tape. That's exactly what's on tap.
Yes, there we go. It'll be on Hulk Hogan's OnlyFans.
Yeah. Hogan only. Yeah, there we go. Another great idea, Sid. You're on your way to riches. Now, you're encouraged by potential anarchy in the states, and why is that encouraging?
Because like it's lockdowns kill people too,
Mm-hmm. This
and
is true.
it's the fucking holidays, and yeah, telling people that they can have guests over is super cringe, and yeah, I wouldn't. No, I'm not down for that.
Yeah. Okay, so you were here on our Canadian Thanksgiving episode in which you indicated that you didn't care. You didn't care that
Mhm.
you were missing it. So what it sounds like to me is something you're putting on your to-do list is the hope and the desire that you can spend the holidays with your family.
Oh yeah, like Christmas is something I care about. Like
Mhm.
as far as seeing the family, there are people that I only see around Christmas, and that's like the one time per year that I see them.
Mhm.
So yeah, like even though I still don't care about Canadian Thanksgiving, I really don't give a fuck about it. If let's just say that if this lockdown that we're in Montreal continues into
Mhm.
the new year, I will hope that a critical mass of my family members would be willing to disobey. Of course, I wouldn't. I would stay
Yes.
home. I would zoom in and communicate with them. I wouldn't
Mhm.
snitch on them either. But yeah, I'm hoping that happens.
Okay, so there's something that you can add to the list. Is there anything else you'd like to throw on the list of things to do within the next 45 days?
It's difficult for me, man, because I remember I forget who asked me this, but it was in late October. Someone asked me something about like next year, and I was
Mhm.
like, Jesus Christ, I can barely see. I can't see past next week.
Yeah.
Talking about the election in the U.S.
Mhm.
So don't ask me about next year. And now that the election is behind us, there's still a thick fog of war as far as that is concerned.
Mhm.
At least it doesn't impact me here, but it's like the main factor between when I can I'll feel comfortable making like long-term plans,
Mhm.
that involves when I'll be allowed to leave the house and go around at my leisure. Like there are a lot of businesses open and shit. Like this is much better than it was in March for
Of
sure.
course.
Uh,
Absolutely it is.
Hands down.
Mhm.
But the fact that there's so many places closed, it's cramping my style.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's hard for me to I need a clear vision of when that veil will be lifted before I
Mhm.
can start like really thinking
Okay.
in the meantime. And in the meantime, all I can do is draw and share my shitty art online as it becomes gradually less shitty over time.
Okay, so you've got a long-term
Yeah.
goal, and that's a good thing. Now, Syd, I wasn't going to mention this, but I've been inspired by what you've been talking about, and I certainly suspect that I'm going to be inspired by what Saima and then Dimitri is going to be talking about. I want to share something that I'm tinkering with putting on my to-do list, and it involves the holidays.
Nice.
Okay, so here's the deal. Now, I don't want to make any false promises, but again, I'm tinkering with it. I'm tinkering with the idea, because Christmas falls on a Friday, of doing an episode of this show on Christmas night.
Ooh. On the 25th. The 25th is a Friday.
25th is a Friday.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can I understand. I think
think about it.
That's exciting.
There's the potential that there's going to be a lot of people spending the holidays by themselves. 99% chance I am one of those people. Let's just, you know what? Let's take it up to 100. Let's go 105. 105% chance. I think that it has to happen.
The Christmas stream is probably going to be a thing, and it would be cool to spend it with some people that I know.
Now, doesn't that sound like a festive thing? In a time when there will be very little that is festive, we're going to be forcing a lot of festivity. We can't have dinners, we can't have parties, we can't have gatherings. So the things that we do are going to be either creative, unique, or kind of duct tape based holiday events. So I think that it is my duty to make this happen. So you're signing off on this? You say yes.
I say yes, and just to give you more context, I know you're the Christmas guy. Your holiday spirit is huge. I'm the opposite. I'm a total Grinch, and there's context behind that. During the late 90s and early 2000s, I was singing in a choir, and I was also working in a board game store that sold board games. So the 2-3 Christmases in a row that I spent doing both of those things, Christmas is super busy for games and for choirs. Those 2-3 years burned out my Christmas spirit circuits, and I've been a total Grinch since then. I have not recovered.
You know what? I'm going to put something else on my to-do list. It is to get you in the holiday spirit. By December 25th, your heart is going to grow 3 sizes.
3 sizes
right now. And I'm going to put another thing on the list. I'm going to get you to sing on the show leading up to the holidays.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man.
Right there. I put all 3 on the list.
It's
done.
Yeah, I kind of regret having said that now, but yeah, all that to say is I'm excited at the prospect of a Christmas stream, and I have no Christmas spirit at all.
We're gonna get there, Syd. I got 45. I got less than 45 days to do this.
Yeah, about 40, 38, 37, something like that.
I feel confident. Syd,
that math is tough for me, so I won't even get you to
don't even try. I could put learn math on my list, but there's no point. Syd, look, man, thanks so much for being here tonight. Next time you're on this show, we're gonna hear some singing, I think.
I'm pressing X to doubt on that one.
Hey, it's on the to-do list. Syd, thanks so much for being here, buddy. I appreciate everything, man. I really value you, dude.
Pleasure. Thank you.
That's Syd Roc, folks. How about that? Huh? That guy has got no Christmas spirit. And do you blame him? He said it. I'm the Christmas guy. But how much can we take? Like I said, no dinners, no parties, no events, no festivities, but I am taking it upon myself to give you the trusted At Home with James viewer right here on twitch.tv/athomewithjames every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. A holiday experience unlike anything you could have ever experienced prior to COVID. Why? Because if there was no COVID, this wouldn't be happening. And if it was, you certainly wouldn't be watching to the extent that you do. I love you, COVID. It's going to be a very COVID Christmas this year. Folks, let us move on to our next guest. She's been here since the beginning of this show, and she will continue to be here until I'm dead. Let us welcome Saima Ahmed to the show. Saima, how's it going?
How are you? I'm good. How are you?
It was a morbid introduction.
Yeah.
I could have just said, I could have just said until the show reaches its climax, but I ended it with until I'm dead.
Well, it means that we'll know each other until you die.
Okay, so thank you for putting a positive spin on the whole situation.
Yeah.
Saima, thanks for being here tonight.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it. Tonight's a big one. It's an old-fashioned episode of the show because for some people, oftentimes they still send me messages like, hey, what's the theme tonight? I go, no theme. I'll get in touch in an hour and I'll let you know what we're doing. And then inevitably I get in touch 30 minutes before the show with an idea. But tonight we're locked and loaded. It's all about things you want to do before it's too late and we've reached 2021. So I want to start off just like I did with Syd. Is there anything that you had on your list that you couldn't do and you just can't do?
I don't know. I was actually trying to think of this. I don't know if there's something that I had on my list that I haven't done. I guess see my niece and nephew who live in Toronto.
That was usually a very attainable thing. All it takes is maybe a plane ticket or a train ticket, or maybe you're driving down.
Yeah.
No dice.
Yeah. So that's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. So I like that there's also like a sad element to tonight's show, is that people are kind of exercising.
I wasn't sure like how sad I should go, but
you know what? I say all the way, because when I promote this show, I say it's comedy and conversation. But tonight we can also add a third C, which would stand for crying tonight.
Aw, yeah.
And it might be me by the end of the show, because who knows what's going to set me off. Okay, so you wanted to see your family. Can't happen. Now, is there anything that you accomplished that you didn't think you were going to, but because of the strange days that we're living, you were able to accomplish? Any unexpected events that were a positive?
Sure. You know, I think in this day and age, we'll take anything that we can get as a small win, or anything that, I don't even know if I say I'll accomplish, but things that unexpectedly happened. One of these things is I became addicted to TikTok.
Okay.
I made 2 TikTok dance videos. I am pretty sure I never thought in my life that I would do that.
Yeah.
So those are 2 things I quote unquote accomplished.
Can I ask you a question as to which one you did? Was it the Savage Bougie one?
I like how you took, so there's Savage Love and there's Bougie, and I like how you're like, you did the dad thing where you took the 2 things and you turned it into one.
Well, you know, I like to imagine myself as a father of many, but without the DNA. So I'm glad that I've gone full dad now when it comes to TikTok based dialogue.
Yeah. Well, actually, I did do one of those. I did the Savage Love.
Now, what is that?
So the song is by Jason Derulo, and
now who is that? We don't have enough time.
We don't have enough time. We don't have enough time. But
is he too big to get on the show? Do you think? Is he too big?
You know what? I'll contact Jason and I'll ask him if he's willing to come on your show.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so you do the Jason Derulo dance.
You sound like my dad.
Like I said, I've got a lot of father-like qualities, and one of those is that I'm not in touch with what's going on.
I actually think my dad might be more in touch than you.
He probably is. Because he's got a daughter who's young enough that can educate him. I don't have any kids that can tell me, Dad, stop being a dorkzilla.
Well, it's funny because I don't know if this is getting like a bit off topic, but my dad sometimes educates me on random things.
Okay. Well, see, that doesn't work on my end because I don't have a daddy.
I don't even know what to respond.
Most people don't. Okay, hold on. Let's back that ass up for a second. We're talking about this Jason Derulo guy. What's the dance? Is it this?
Oh, okay, right.
It's this, right? It's something to do with this.
So you know it.
And I'm all I know is it's the truck driver. You're doing this, and then maybe you turn, and maybe there's one of these.
Yeah.
And then maybe it's one of that, and then you're looking up and down, and then maybe you do the Batman. And
you had the first part pretty right, actually.
One of these.
Yeah, it's like you do this thing with your hand, and then you go on the side, and then you do it on the other side.
Okay.
And then you do something with both of your hands.
Yeah.
That's the extent to which I did my Jason Derulo Savage Love Dance.
Okay, but is that the one that everyone did where they're talking about how they're bougie, and then there's nasty?
I wanted to do that one as well. But I ended up doing this other one by this artist called Doja Cat, who I'm sure, are you familiar with Doja Cat?
No, absolutely not. Dodo Cat? It sounds like a Tamagotchi knockoff. What'd you get for Christmas? What'd you get for Christmas? I got a Tamagotchi. What did you get? Oh, I got the Tamagotchi too. That's not the Tamagotchi. What do you mean? No, this is the Dodo Cat. This is the one with the cat only. You just have to make sure the cat doesn't wake up. It's the Dodo Cat.
Did you ever get a Tamagotchi for Christmas as a child?
No, because I didn't have a dad to buy me presents.
You didn't celebrate Christmas growing up.
Wait, I'm getting a production note here. What are you saying? What are you saying? What am I saying? Okay, so apparently so people can't hear it, but I can get the tech in my ears, Saima. I believe you can hear this too. I've been calling it a Tamagotchi, but apparently it's a Tamagotchi. Look.
You're actually the one who's bougie. You had a Tamagotchi.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So look, we've established that I don't know nothing. Okay, great. I didn't know nothing from the 90s. I don't know nothing now. Anyways, you're doing the bougie dance. What's going on, Saima?
So I did the dance. The one I did by myself. I don't know how to finish this. The only way to finish this is that it wasn't that hard to learn.
Mm-hmm.
But recording it, unlike the rest of you all, I'm not a performer. So when I did the dance, I got it, and I looked at the video of myself doing it. I just had like extreme concentration and focus on my face.
Yeah.
And I had to redo it and like just smile the whole time.
Okay, but let's hold the phone for a second. Now, you've hosted a variety of shows. Would that fall into the arena of performing? You're a welcomer?
Sure.
Now, not to take it off course, but we have, and that's fine. Do you miss producing a weekly comedy show and hosting it? Or are you at the point where it's like, that was a fun part of my life, I will move on now?
I don't know. I you know what? Like, it's weird. When I went to indie night every Saturday, it was almost like especially, like at first, there wasn't a lot of people who would come to indie night. And I used to make such an effort for people to come, and then there's like really not a large audience. And over time, like so many people would start coming, and it'd be like such a weird, nice feeling of like, I didn't even do anything to like promote this show. And there's like people in the audience, and like I come here, and it was like such a nice feeling of like, I know people, like I know everyone here, and this is my show, and I put it together, and these people are performing, and they're having fun because of this, and it's like a nice feeling.
Yes. Yeah.
That being said, it's also intensely hard to. I think like near the end, I was kind of at the point where it's like, it's hard not to, I'm a social person, as you know, James. I like to do things in my life, and never like a Saturday night.
And by the way, so I want to just jump in here. For people who don't know, Saima was producing a weekly improvised comedy show every Saturday night that requires you to be there every Saturday night.
I need to host it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
People don't get it. They don't get the work.
I mean, it's not that much work. You just have to show up. But it's the physical, sometimes you either have plans or like at home. If you don't have plans, you might be like at home on a Saturday night being like, oh, like now I have to like change my clothes.
Yes. Yeah. When some nights you just want to keep your jogging pants on, make some popcorn, and play on the Tamagotchi.
Exactly. You get it.
Well, look, Saima, I don't think you and I have ever had, and when I say I don't think, I know, we have never had a formal debrief, because for people who may not know, I oversaw production
of my boss.
Improv shows. Yeah, I don't like saying that. It makes me feel, I think about us as collaborators.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, a father to a variety of very self-sufficient and successful children. That's what I think about so you know what? It's come full circle.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you for all the great work that you did.
Oh, thank you, James. Well, thanks for always being there and supporting me.
Well, you know what? See, now I might cry.
Oh.
We'll be fine. I like that. That's what choked me up, and talking about my dad didn't. There'll be a full 1 hour one. We'll make it happen. I'll do a seance or something on the show. Now, with the time that you have left in 2020, is there anything you would like to accomplish, Saima? Whether big or small, whether feasible or unfeasible, whether realistic or fantastical?
Yes. So I was thinking of things like I could actually do. And one thing I actually, I've taken steps to making this happen is learn to ski.
Mm-hmm.
I actually rented some skis. I have bought a helmet. I have, what else? Goggles now. I
Mm-hmm.
bought like something that allows me, skiing is expensive. I did not
Now,
know this.
did you grow up skiing at all? Because I grew up in skiing.
James, my
I've never done
parents
it.
are immigrant Pakistani parents. Do you think I grew up skiing? My parents don't even know what skiing is.
I grew up in ski country, 5 minutes from the hill, full Quebecer Canadian. I've never skied in my life.
To my parents, it's like, why would you want to do, like, this is not, why do people do this? Like, that's their mentality towards
That's
skiing.
how I feel. That's how I feel about it.
This is like, I'm getting off track, but like sometimes there's things that I do in my life that is very like, I'm sure my parents like would laugh at me doing this. Like that they think camping is like, why do people camp? Why do people
I feel
hike?
the same way about
You would love my parents.
You know what? Next Christmas, I'm coming over for dinner.
I feel like you and my dad have the same vibe.
Let's get him on the show. We're gonna
My dad's a huge Hulk Hogan fan, actually.
Okay, has he seen the sex tape?
No.
Okay, so he's not a huge fan. Only a real fan.
But you know what? My dad, he still does this. My parents have a smart TV in their bedroom, and he just watches YouTube every Saturday morning. He wakes up and watches YouTube videos of like wrestling for an hour.
Look, this is what we got to do. We got to get your dad on the show, Saima. You have to be there too, and then me and your dad need to bond, and then you need to put together a quiz to determine who knows more about current pop culture, me or your old man.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. Do you know a lot about Drake?
Drake?
My dad knows a lot about Drake.
I don't know. I know that he was on Degrassi. I know that he started from the bottom. Now he's here. And I also know that he loves the Raptors. That's it.
Yeah, I think my dad might know more about Drake then.
You know what? I'm ready to do this. Here, I'm going to put this on my extended to-do list. This is great. This episode has been really productive for me.
I'll ask him if he's interested.
Okay, so skiing. What else do you have that you would like to do before the year is out?
This is kind of going along the lines of what Syd was saying. It'd be nice to like be able to see people.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hunch that perhaps we'll be allowed to do some small gatherings around the holidays.
Okay.
So that would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I think that's about it. Those are like my two. What else is there left to do?
You know what? I like that tonight the expectations, and I prepped everyone prior to the show. You could be as out there as you want to, something that you know that you can accomplish. And even with that prompt, everyone has been fairly reasonable, which means that the strange days that we're living have reinforced the little things.
Yeah. What else? I exercise quite a bit, so keep exercising, I guess. I don't know, like I don't really have any big lofty goals for the rest of the year.
You know what though? You remain pretty socially active, because most times when I try to get you on the show, it's like, nah, I can't. I'm swimming with the sharks today.
I do like going, well, I think this past weekend was my last hike, but yeah, I've been going on hikes every weekend. I go for walks. What else? I do live alone, and I'm allowed to have a person over, or I'm allowed to go over to someone else's place who lives alone as well. So sometimes I do that.
Okay.
You got to keep social. You got to be social.
I'm putting that on my list. Got to be social. This is good because I'm just stealing other people's things and ideas.
I feel like do you consider yourself to be a social person?
I go in and out. I would say that I like to spend time with my friends. Sometimes I'll be at a party. I'm feeling good. I feel feisty. Other times I get there, I find a seat. I don't get up off the seat.
Hmm.
I'm kind of like I'm like a cat almost.
Okay.
When I'm looking for attention, so to speak, I'll go get it. If not, you got to come and get me.
Oh, okay.
And I might turn right around, lift my tail in the air, and show you my butthole and walk away.
Wow.
Figuratively.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's there's no need to hope because it is the truth, and I wish I hadn't said any of that.
Okay. Well, I
Look,
well, I was
Saima.
gonna say, it's
Yeah.
still not too late to be social. You got 45 days.
Thank you. Now I feel motivated, and I feel like we've created a clean slate from my whole cat butthole fiasco. Saima, thanks so much for stopping by. I always love when you're here because we always have a nice laugh. I love it.
Yeah, we always do. Well, it was my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Let's do it again soon, okay?
Yeah.
That's Saima Ahmed. Look, guys, I don't plan what I'm going to say. Do you think I wrote down notes and thought, I'm going to talk about Hulk Hogan's sex tape? When after he gets done banging, he was talking about how much he ate at dinner. He said, I think in the video, he says, I ate like a pig. I've seen the tape. Because when you're a little kid and you grow up, this guy's your hero. Because there's not a lot of bald heroes out there. Okay? And he's whooping ass. He's putting up the big boot. He's dropping the big leg. He's telling you to say your prayers, eat your vitamins. He's body slamming Andre the Giant. And then 30 years later, he's having sexual intercourse with one of his best friends, girlfriends, and they're filming him and he doesn't know. Am I just not going to watch that? I didn't plan to talk about this. And I didn't plan to talk about cats' buttholes. But here we are. I digress. I would like to promote Wednesday and Friday's shows because this is huge. They are both fully booked. This Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, not only will Carla Ma be here, not only will Pat Gordo be here, but Connor Rose will be here, and that's on Wednesday. This upcoming Friday, we've got, of course, Steph Mercier-Voyer, the return of Raylyn Carson, and Dave Kaufman will be here. Now, before we move on to our final guest, I've been flirting with this show for the past week. If this idea was a person that I had romantic interest in, and this was at a bar, I'm sitting at the bar, I'm drinking a sparkling water, and maybe they gave it to me for free. I'm kind of looking, sending some eyes, I'm tipping a hat, maybe a wink, why am I fake sipping water when I have a real water? I'm doing my thing. And then this romantic interest idea comes to me. And of course, I'm talking about the At Home with James 2020 Christmas tree lighting. I've been talking about it ad nauseum, and I'm happy to confirm that it will be happening. The Christmas tree that sits in this room will be lit 1 week from tonight in a Monday night extravaganza featuring live musical performances and an on-site correspondent 1 week from tonight. Tell your mom, dad, auntie, unkie, brother, sister, Grammy, Grampy, tell your best friend, tell your worst enemy that in 1 week from tonight, the holidays officially begin right here on Twitch. Let us move on to our final guest of the night. He's also working the booth. It's Dimitri Kyres. Dimitri, how are you, buddy?
Hey, James, how's it going, man?
I'm doing great. You're doing a bang-up job tonight.
Thanks. Yeah, things have been pretty smooth. I think things look pretty good.
HD crisp.
Yeah, because I don't have Twitch open. I only have it on my phone, and that resolution always looks good.
It looks great, and I'll tell you what, the only downside of HD is this weird flap of hair is just so much so in sight. But you know what? It's not your fault. That's God's fault.
It ain't my fault. Blame Jesus.
That's God's fault.
That's God's fault. James, you look good. You sound good.
You.
The show so far has been fantastic. So
a lot of laughs.
A lot of laughs. A lot
of
of
laughs tonight, right?
Syd's hilarious. Saima's great. You
Yeah.
have been quite funny tonight.
Thank you. You know, that's on my to-do list. I'm putting it on the damn list. Be
Write
funny.
it down.
Dimitri, I like to think of myself as a pretty funny guy.
You are a funny guy, and you don't get the opportunity to be super funny on this show sometimes.
You know what? You know what I do? But I give. I'm like a father who's putting it's like, yeah, I know how to kick a soccer ball, but check out little Syd and little Saima. Check out how they can kick a ball around.
Recline your seat and let the person in the back have a little less room for once in your life, you know?
I think so too. Dimitri, in addition to working tech, which I'm sure was on your to-do list of things to learn in 2020,
Yeah.
figuring out how to operate OBS or Streamlabs, is there anything that's been on your to-do list?
Yeah, there has been something on my to-do list. I finally have time for it now that I finally figured out OBS and Streamlabs, and it's fine. Your hair is fine.
Thank you. I got a cowlick, a rare side cowlick. Anyways,
it's fine. It's fine. You look great.
Thank you.
So anyway, on my little on my to-do list, I finally got around to it. You may not have known this, but the Quebec government gives out a literal shit ton of money for video game studios, indie studios, we call it in the biz. And I've had this studio. I've got a 50-person strong team in Carrefour Laval, just by the mall, and we have this studio. And I haven't had the time to get over there, but now I finally figured it out. I have time.
So you launched a video game startup?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And
cool.
I finally have time to get to my games and start developing games again. And at a perfect time, to be completely honest with you. I specialize in virtual reality, James. It's an
I was going to ask. Okay, this is still a burgeoning corner of the market.
It's becoming more affordable, and more than ever, people want to dip their toes in virtual reality. Now that we are stuck inside, James, we need to take a step in here.
Okay, so people want an escape, and you're happy to provide it to them by way of VR.
Absolutely, James. It's exploding business. I am filthy rich right now, or I'm going to be anyway.
Wow.
I'm developing 3 games right now, and I'm hoping to get a Steam release pretty soon. Just wait
What's
for that.
Steam?
Steam is a platform for video games, James.
Does that have anything to do with Justin Derulo?
Who's that?
The singer from before.
No.
Okay, great.
What is that?
I'm glad I'm not the only one that doesn't know.
I don't understand that reference. But James, yeah, it's a system, it's a platform rather, where people put their video games, and yeah, that's what I've been trying to crack into right now. You sound like you don't understand video games very much.
I'm not a big gamer. I dabble with the NHL franchise. VR is not anything that I have much of an outward interest in, but I'm interested in learning about it.
Oh, okay.
And maybe that will, hey, you know what? I might put it on the to-do list.
Jot that down, because I think you would, as somebody who is a recluse, as somebody who likes to stay inside, you maybe would benefit a lot from virtual reality, because you could do whatever you want in virtual reality. There's even a game where you could go on and do an improv set in virtual reality. This is not a joke.
Not interested.
It's called Comedy Night. James,
yeah, that sounds like a nightmare.
It is a nightmare, but it exists. Well, James, now that I got you, and we seem to have a few minutes here,
more than a few minutes. Can
I run you through some of these simulations, some of these VRs?
Okay, so you brought us some. You're going to do a bit of a playthrough here?
Yeah. So you and the audience need to sign a verbal NDA right now, because these are beta at best.
Okay, so what I want to do is, despite what Syd likes to say, I am going to engage with the chat right now. I would like for you to just sign off in the chat. This is a verbal NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, as we say in the entertainment industry. And that way, our people won't talk to your people. Sign off on it. Look, I'm going to do it right now, just to as a sign of good faith. Done. I sign off.
Thank you, James.
So, Dimitri, I think we're in order.
Great. So, first things first, I got to get now the NDA is signed, I'm going to put on my very, very, very high-tech virtual reality glasses.
That's the whole apparatus?
That is the entire apparatus, James.
Okay, so when I've seen them before, yeah, it's like a huge mask almost.
Thing of the past with no cord. This is all you need. Just got to push this button right there.
And what's this called? Because I know there's the Oculus. What's this?
Oh, James. This device is called the Amadeus.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, so the Amadeus it is by way of Dimitri Kyres, and you're going to give us a walkthrough on some of the games you've been developing in VR.
Yeah, let me just bring up the first game here. So again, James, these are for people to experience life outside of their house, life the way we envisioned it before COVID.
Okay,
I'm a
great.
bit of a historian, so let's bring up the first game here. So this game is simply a chef experience. James, you might be are you yourself a chef?
No.
Okay, well let's walk through this and see what we experience here. Is that coming through?
Yeah, of course. So in any moment now, you're telling me that people watching the show should be able to get a first-person perspective.
Yeah, so I'm playing the games. Okay, well this is cool, James. So we're gonna go ahead and make a Ukrainian borscht today.
Okay, great.
I don't know if you're a huge fan of borscht, so first things first, we're gonna grab this pot here, James. We're gonna put it down. We're gonna make sure we put our broth in right now, and as you can see, the system's incredibly responsive. I can add just as much broth as I'd like.
This is very impressive.
Thank you. We've stabilized every atom we can possibly find, and we've computer generated every box of Lipton's Campbell's chicken broth. That's real liquid that you see there that's been digitally engineered.
Yeah, and I like that it's indicated on the game, big pot.
Yeah, well, I want people to know because we've digitally engineered several different sized pots here, James. We're gonna need a lot of broth for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and just keep putting as much broth as I need. That should be enough.
Okay.
Yeah, great. So
yeah, this is a lot of broth.
We're gonna need a lot of broth, brother.
Yeah.
Have you ever made borscht before?
Never.
Okay, well now you're gonna, because this recipe is as easy as pie.
You put more broth in here?
Yeah, we're gonna need a lot of broth, brother. First, let me get some cans here. Okay, so this is the easy part, James. Let me take a quick look at the recipe. Okay, so we're gonna put a little bit of this spice. Salt is what it's called.
Yeah. Just in case people aren't sure, salt.
Yeah, that's what we need. How are you enjoying this so far, James?
You know what? I was really expecting to. I'll be honest. I was gonna make fun of this, but I'm very, very impressed.
It's pretty responsive. Every time I shake this, you get just the amount of black pepper that you'd like, James. Yeah.
It's not enough that you've got almost 1,000 milliliters of chicken broth. You want to just keep shaking more salt in there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the salt was already included in that. So let me just check. Let me just see what I need here.
Yeah, and what did you say this game is called?
This is called the Gordon Ramsay Experience.
The Gordon Ramsay Experience by Dimitri Kyres. Now, did you get him to sign off, or is this an unlicensed game?
Absolutely not. He has no idea what's happening.
All right.
If he refuses, Guy Fieri's going to say yes to anything. So we're going to contact him right after. So let me just.
All right. So this is the Guy Fieri, the Gordon Ramsay Experience. Do we have any other games?
Yeah. Let me stop the simulation there.
Very, very cool. I'm very proud of you, Dimitri.
Not too bad for a guy who can't get sound to work on OBS, huh?
Yeah, it's almost shocking that you can't get it to work on OBS, but you've developed an entire Gordon Ramsay-inspired video game.
Well, I got a bunch of nerds that just know how this shit works, you know? Like, I'm the big idea guy.
Coming in from the chat right now by way of High Score Run, killer soundtrack.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad, you didn't comment on that, James. As somebody who's a music aficionado.
Well, yeah, the generic rock, I guess it escaped my mind.
It's just hours upon hours of guitar riffs. But let's initialize the next experience here. James, what do you miss more than anything?
What do I miss more than anything? You know what? I wouldn't mind going to eat at a restaurant.
Okay, well that was the last game.
Yeah, you're right.
This one, I know what I miss more than anything, James, is after a set, what do? We're a little hungry, we're a little thirsty. We go to the bar, James.
So we get a little hungry. We're not going to go to the restaurant. We're going to go to the bar.
Yeah. You get some bar food. You go down there and you get a drink.
Never done that.
So this is the bar experience, James. This one is.
Wait, this game's called Bar Experience?
Yeah, it's called Bar Experience.
Okay.
So let's initialize it right now. So let's put on some music first here, James. Something you might like.
Okay, so I'm noticing the graphics on this one are not as polished as the Gordon Ramsay experience.
No, not as much. Obviously, the Gordon Ramsay experience. We put a lot of money into that, James. We put a lot of money into that. Oh, pool cue. So yeah, this is a classic bar experience. You know, you go to the bar, you get absolutely fucked, James, out of your mind.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? You ever experienced something like this?
Yeah, no, this is nothing like anything. I don't drink, and I certainly don't drink. It looks like I'm drinking, or you're drinking other patrons' drinks and then whipping it at the wall.
Yeah, it's the full bar experience, James. Oh, wait, hold on a minute.
What are these drinks made of? Fog?
Wait, hold
and
on.
this?
There's a guy here. Son of a bitch. I want to talk to you real quick. It's the full bar experience, James. It's the full bar experience.
Yeah, this guy that you're fighting looks like, I don't know, this guy's got terrible posture.
Yeah, he shouldn't be here. I got a real problem with him. Let me hold on. Oh, wow, yeah. So, I mean, it's exactly what you'd expect out of a bar experience. Oh, he's got his friend here. Hold on, I'll take care of him, James.
Yeah, you're just beating up this businessman.
Yeah, and his buddy.
You know, who doesn't love a bar that's just got loose drinks and bottles of wine all over the place?
Well, it's out of all the things that I missed during COVID, this is definitely the one that I missed the most, you know?
Well, yeah, now it looks like you're fighting two patrons.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm taking them
Now,
both.
are you the hero in this game or the villain?
You know, it's up to you. We want the player to drive the narrative here, you know,
Well,
James?
yeah, well, I think the narrative that's being driven is that your character was drinking excessively, got belligerent at the bar, started throwing things at the bar, then you picked a fight with two people.
Yeah, that got a little too intense for me, James. A little too much of the bar experience. It's not to be played at long length.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. Now, what's the rating on this game? What's the recommended audience?
Oh, this one? 12 years and up. We want to throw
12 and up.
Big net. Try to catch as many consumers as possible on this game.
Well, it seems like you're doing well. He was here earlier tonight. Real Syd Roc in the chat says your technical boners are all forgiven.
Well, thank you, Syd Roc. That's high praise coming from Syd Roc.
Okay, so you have one more game?
Yeah, James, this one I think you're going to love. It's very casual. It's very casual, James.
I'm a casual guy.
That's what I mean. Maybe those two first ones were a little too intense. Maybe the cooking is too high stakes. Maybe the second one, too much violence or too much of a good time.
Okay.
This third one, this is the friend over experience. We're not allowed having people over right now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just the casual, I'm having a buddy over. I'm having a platonic friend over, James.
Okay.
And that's the experience. So it's going to be really, really calm. I'm going to walk
What's this game called?
Oh, this is called My Friend Kano. My Friend Kano.
Okay, My Friend Kano?
Yes.
Was that Kano?
Kano, that's right, James.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So
let me
My Friend Kano, we're about to see some gameplay by way of Dimitri's Amadeus VR
initializing. Yeah, initializing. Great. Okay, great. So this is our room, James.
Okay.
Pretty beautiful. You know, we really poured a lot of money. Oh, there's a knock at the door, James. Maybe it's our friend Kano. Let's go. Let's go find out. Oh, it's our friend Kano, James.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, our friend Kano is here, James. Our platonic friend Kano. Hi, Kano. Well, hello. Nice to see you as well, Kano. Yeah, Kano. As you can see, Kano is interested in maybe working on some homework today.
Now, you said this is a game about a platonic friend coming over?
Yeah, that's right, James. So let's initialize the next session here. So Kano,
why is Kano dressed as a French maid?
That's up to Kano.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not our business. Kano can dress however they like. Kano seems to be asking us for help with their homework. We seem to be their tutor today, so we're going to be helping Kano out. Okay, great. So yeah, Kano is asking, James, what would you like to do? Kano would like to know. Would you like to nod for yes?
Well, I guess if we're gonna, let's nod. Yeah, I think we
great.
want to see. Yeah, okay.
Okay, great. So yeah, we spent a lot of time on physics in this game. So
Yeah.
Oh, that looks like it's a little too tall for Kano. Do you think we should help Kano?
Well, look, we're doing a walkthrough. We should probably
Okay.
probably help Kano.
Okay, let's help Kano out here. How's this receiving for you? How are you experiencing this so far?
You know what? It's like you mentioned. It's a very relaxed game.
Okay, great. So Kano's got her textbook, James, and that's exactly what we want. Now we can progress with the game. Wow. So everything coming through on your end. So I'm gonna advance the game.
These graphics are interesting.
Yeah, they're really high tech. I'm gonna move.
Yeah, you've done some very specific work on these graphics, Dimitri.
Yeah, I'm gonna advance the game to our first boss fight, James.
So there's a boss fight in this game?
Yeah, I'm gonna advance the game to our first boss fight. So let me move things along here.
Oh God.
So, here in a moment, Kano's gonna initiate the boss fight, and it's gonna be up to us to save her life.
Are those your hands?
Yeah, these are my hands, James. I'm in full control right now. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, here's the boss fight. Kano sees a bug underneath the table. We have to protect her, James.
The boss is a little bug?
Of course, we have to protect Kano. Oh, she seems to have a wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, is this a bug, Dimitri? A literal bug in the game?
It's a literal bug. It's an Easter egg. Okay.
Right. Oh, so it's an Easter egg.
Yeah, so we're gonna squash the bug and save Kano, and I imagine she'll be quite happy about that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's having a wardrobe malfunction, so we're testing some bugs out. So I'll stop the.
Okay, so it's fixed.
Yeah. So I'll stop the initiation. I'll stop the game here, James. So I don't reveal too much of it.
Sure. Yeah.
Wow, that went well.
Yeah, it's when you said boss fight, I was imagining that someone else was going to show up, like an angry character, and there was similar to the bar experience game.
Yeah. Well, this is again, it's a more casual game. It's this is for everybody. It's E for everyone.
That game's rated E for everyone.
This is an E for everyone rated game, James, and honestly, it's the casual experience that everybody's looking for. Finally, having a friend over, tutoring, squashing some bugs, and then who knows what happens after that.
Okay, so my friend Kano is rated E for everyone, and you say it's a great game during the times of COVID where we can't have the type of guests that we would be normally used to encouraging to our home.
That's right, James.
Yeah,
and it's a pretty it's a learning game as well. We go through basically a bunch of tutoring lessons. You can learn maths, different languages. So it's to be taught in schools. Primarily. So that's the aim. Like we make games for fighting. In bars and stuff and cooking and stuff, but we also make games that we can give back to the community.
Yeah, that's one of them. That's a game you're going to give back to the community with my friend Kano.
Yeah. You get into video games for all sorts of different reasons. I get into it to help people. First and foremost.
Coming in from the chat right now, once again, courtesy of High Score Run, quote, the future of education.
I think so too. So I hope you enjoyed this experience, James.
I loved it. And when should people expect all of these games to hit the shelves?
It's going to be by 2028. Takes a long time to develop video games. Yeah.
I think some of us will be dead by then, but let's hope not.
All right, James. Well, I hope you learned something. I hope you can give video games a shot. And thanks for having me on. And thanks for playtesting my games with me.
Hey. Don't give me credit for playing those games. Dimitri, thanks so much for stopping by, and thanks for working the board tonight.
Anytime, buddy. Have a great night.
You too. Folks, that's our show. Now, when you go to bed tonight, you're either going to be thinking about Hulk Hogan or doing the savage bougie dance, or you're going to be thinking about spending time with your friend Kano. I'm not taking responsibility for any of it. Or am I? Wink. Folks, as mentioned, that's our show. We will be back this Wednesday, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jam-packed show. And don't forget, 1 week from tonight, we light the Christmas tree. We begin the holidays right here on twitch.tv/@home-with-James. I want to thank Saima Ahmed. I want to thank Syd Roc, and I want to thank Dimitri Kyres for being here. Dimitri, thanks for working the board. And I want to thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, following, the whole 9 yards. Until then, I'll see you next time. I am James. You are you. We were here. Good night, goodbye, farewell, and be well.